and gentlemen, in our first contest of the evening, Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of professional mixed martial arts. In this bantamweight bout, introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Portarlington, Ireland, weighing in at 61.7 kilograms with an undefeated record of 1 fight and 1 win, Zaharovs. Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner, fighting out of Stockholm, Sweden, weighing in at 61.2 kilograms with an undefeated record of 3 fights and 3 wins, Bilal Tipsayev. Our referee in charge of the action is Catalan Otselia.
All right, here we go, Brave Nation. 2 undefeated prospects throwing it down for your entertainment. Somebody's O has got to go. That's what we're looking at right now, ladies and gentlemen.
And this should be a fast-paced bout. I mean, both these guys bring a lot of intensity to the cage. And, I mean, their stare down yesterday also. There's a little something extra to that.
Yeah. Mati's taking a very low there, doesn't want to be taken down early. In a fight like this, he's going to have to stay active with the footwork. He doesn't want to be a static target. He doesn't want to be standing square for somebody like Bilal. There's Bilal in on that single.
And there it is. It did not take long for Bilal to go for his bread and butter, but gotta say, good takedown defense so far.
He has that overhook. He's pushing away, and as you say, he's doing well to defend the takedown, trying to dig in for those underhooks, but this is not the kind of deep water that Mati's Zaharovs wanted to find himself in the opening stanzas of the fight.
No, absolutely. And, you know, even if you look at Tipsayev's record, I mean, he's 1-0, absolutely, as a pro, yes, but he does also have amateur experience. And, you know, back home in Sweden on the local scene, he's gotten past Johnny Tuma, who we'll see make his Brave debut later on this month, and also Basir Safdari, who is one of the most underrated amateurs in Sweden right now, in my opinion. And, I mean, Tipsayev just took them both to school, just muscled them out and beat them.
Big knees exchanged in the clinch there from both men. Zaharovs showing his savvy. As we've said, he's a 4-time Irish amateur MMA champion, a 1-time Irish amateur K1 champion, and a 1-time amateur European MMA champion. So he himself has some wonderful amateur pedigree. See, he's trying to soften up the kicks here. Has to be wary when throwing the kicks at the wrestler. That is their bread and butter.
I mean, it's just, sure, you can definitely get in some good strikes, keep the distance, but you've always got to be wary of them.
Got
nice
caught over the top,
there.
but Matiz returns. Matiz initiates the clinch here. Matiz doing well here to keep that distance, has earned the respect of Bilal by defending the takedown, even doing a little bit of talking in the cage.
And, you know, it's funny, you know, he's talked about Conor McGregor being an inspiration, not just as a fighter, but as a businessman and as a sports person. And I feel you can see shades of Conor McGregor in his fighting style as well.
I asked Matiz what was the biggest difficulty about training for this fight due to COVID restrictions, and he says, no, I saw it as a positive. It gave me an opportunity to work on my strength and conditioning, to work on elements of my game, to be a little bit more assessive. That's a beautiful inside leg kick crashing in. And if you think about it, that's a great game plan. Try and take out the lead leg of the wrestler. Try and take out that little bit of power, take the pep out of their step, so to speak.
Absolutely. I mean, leg kicks are at times very underutilized because they do take out so much power for both striking and grappling. I mean, when you can't really push away from your lead leg in the same way, it is going to make your takedowns sloppier, it's going to make them more labored, and it's going to make them easier to spot and defend. Double
underhooks established here by Tipsayev. You can see Matiz splitting his base, trying to dig in for an underhook on his right side. A little bit of bicep control. And the aspect that people don't realize, this is one of the most draining aspects of mixed martial arts, Sebastian, that over-under clinch game.
Yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily see as much action from it, but it is just grueling. I mean, you wear on your opponent and on yourself to some extent as well. I mean, it really does take a lot of power and energy out of you. And I mean, a lot of times fights are, you know, they are tipped in a certain fighter's favor because of those positions.
Boris does well to transition to the back. Oh! Overhead slam there.
Slam, bang, thank you, man. That was a huge takedown.
Bilal Tipsayev. Oh, Matthias trying to transition. Does well to get up.
Gotta say, I'm very impressed by Zaharovs' takedown defense and just way of getting up, because Tipsayev is no joke on the ground. He is fantastic.
Good work in the clinch again from Zaharovs, and I think he's definitely earned the respect of Tipsayev.
Yeah, absolutely. There's that front leg side kick.
You can hear the booming voice of Irish MMA legend Philip Malpeter there. He's doing well, really investing in those kicks. That's money in the bank for later rounds.
Absolutely, that really is going to pay dividends for later rounds if in fact it does go that far. Oh wow, that was a sharp takedown from Tipsayev.
Dived right on the legs, and that's the kind of power he has with his wrestling. It's in the blink of an eye. Next thing you know, you're lying on your back. He's inside the closed guard now of Zaharovs. What kind of damage can he do from this position?
Right now, it's a good closed guard. I mean, Zaharovs doing a pretty good job at keeping Tipsayev in a position where he can't necessarily get off a whole lot of offense, which, I mean, obviously is a smart thing to do until you do decide to either attack from the bottom or get up.
See Matisse with the open guard, trying to move the hips, trying to work for something. Snapping little grazing elbows and trying to post and get back to his feet. Nice shot landed there by Boers. First round in the books.
Great round. Both guys showcasing a lot of talent. I mean, I think that there was a good reason this fight was chosen to open the show, because it has been fast-paced action from start to finish.
Interesting final cut before we go to the replay there. Zaharovs looked quite calm, chilled out, and Bilal had the hands on the back of his head trying to get the breaths in.
Yeah.
Now, for all we know, that could just be him readjusting, but
it might have been just that last part of the fight as well. I mean, perhaps posturing up a little too hard or a little harder than necessary. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, we haven't, I mean, as a pro anyway, we haven't seen Tipsayev go the distance at all. I mean, he didn't go farther than a minute and a half, so this has already been several times longer than his pro debut.
You saw in that replay that massive slam from Bilal Tipsayev. See almost Philip Malpeter there motioning for the likes of uppercuts as opposed to knees, because knees, whilst they are high reward, they're also high risk because you could be taken down off them. So perhaps cut the angle, land the uppercut. Matisse looks fresh in there.
Yeah, I gotta say, he really does. I mean, one good idea might as well be to perhaps mix it up a little bit. Maybe throw in a knee every 5th, 6th, 7th time that you're doing it defensively, and then do uppercuts up until then.
Matisse employing lateral movement.
And that's exactly what you want to do against a strong wrestler like Tipsayev. I mean, if you were on a straight line, then you're just asking to be taken down, basically. Zaharovs doing very, very good, I gotta say.
I like the way he's always throwing some sort of a strike. He may not be committing 100%, but he's always keeping something in the face of Tipsayev, always letting him know that there is a threat there should he close the distance.
And you've got to do that. I mean, that's a sign of an intelligent fighter. Keep your opponent guessing. Just make sure they're never really comfortable. Just
oh, he caught him. He caught him with the hook.
He caught him, yeah. Tipsayev seems to have her covered, but let's see how much.
Beautiful short hook there from Zaharovs. Again, showing just what a gas tank he has by staying on the bike, not being the static target, landing his shots, getting out.
I like how he's landing these lead front side kicks as well. I mean, so far he's been able to land them without really being threatened himself.
There you go, listening to, I love that he's listening to the instruction he's getting from his corner.
Which is obviously an advantage in these times of COVID-19, but there aren't any crowd noises to drown out that advice.
Could Boers be in here on a double, but Matisse trying to pepper off those elbows. Oh, he's landed big. Oh, big slam coming from Boers, bringing them all. Oh! Matisse managed to take a little bit of the power out of that takedown.
Yeah, he didn't get quite as airborne as Tipsayev would have liked, obviously.
Oh, Tipsayev's cut, Seb. He's cut bad.
Oh, I didn't even see that until now.
Must have been that
the elbows right in
the
the clinch.
yeah.
Oh, that can definitely affect the fight.
And it seems to be in an area that it's running down over the face. Very intelligent work.
Oh, that was close to being partially illegal.
Referee warns him.
I don't necessarily think a cut in that spot will affect his vision. It's just perhaps a question of if the doctors would, or if, yeah, in certain scrambles and ground.
Oh, beautiful
nice
step-in knee.
And Tipsayev did drop his hands after. Definitely took a lot of another front kick there to the body.
Matisse is doing exactly what he said he would do. He said he wanted to drag Tipsayev into the later stanchions of the round. And a step-in elbow from Zaharovs. Big deep breath there from Tipsayev.
Oh, great 1-2 there as well. And we've still got half a round to work. It's been so fast-paced. It felt like a fight or like a round. Oh, that was a hard right there.
Matisse goes to the body. That's textbook work to do when you feel that the guy you're facing is a little bit fatigued. Oh, huge takedown from Tipsayev. See, it's just amazing how quickly a fight can turn on something like that. You've seen Zaharovs getting the shots in, but a fight can turn on a double leg takedown like that.
I mean, the story of this fight has been like an award-winning drama because we are seeing twists and turns at every step here.
Tipsayev. This also gives Tipsayev an opportunity to wear on his opponent whilst catching his own breath a little bit.
Yeah, tire him out a little bit, just get a little bit of strength out of Matisse's step there.
Matisse trying to post on that arm, but so intelligent from Tipsayev. As soon as he seen the elbow of Matisse come up, grabbed it, got that Dagestani handcuff.
Exactly. That's also another technique we've been seeing more and more over the last couple of years, and it truly is effective in keeping your opponent grounded.
Well, Peter calling for the frame from his young fighter. He has the hand planted, pushing down on the head. He's doing everything right, but it's just the sheer strength. A big elbows again for Matisse Zaharovs. But picked up.
And it is another one-way ticket to the canvas there.
Slam City population, Zaharovs. Matisse landing those legal elbows. Not 12-6 in that position because of his body shape.
Exactly.
He has an arm isolated. He may be trying to work for that triangle, decides to let it go.
You have to work. Work on the top.
And this might be a kind of hard round to score because we did see Zaharovs just, initially get a lot of success, but now he's been grounded for quite a while.
He's still doing damage, maybe trying to look for an armbar from that position, momentarily underhooked the leg. Bit of gamesmanship there from Philip Malpeter, trying to goad the referee into standing them up.
Yeah.
Come on, you have to work. Work.
That is not going to happen from that position, though, and certainly not obviously with time.
There's an up kick there for Zaharovs. Lands one. Again, very interesting round set.
Yeah, hard to score. I mean, both guys just really leaving it all in the cage. And I mean, the third round might very well just seal the deal.
You see the big takedown here. And that's the elbows. These are the elbows that I think cut Tipsayev. Just short, sharp point of the elbow. Got taken down, and that step-in knee was money.
Oh, just fantastic knee there from Matisse Zaharovs.
It's going to be interesting to see. I guess it comes down to interpretation of the criteria from judges. Is there the old sort of misconception that takedowns win fights, or do you look at the cumulative damage that Zaharovs has done, even from those takedowns, even off his back?
Well, I mean, you also got to think that a lot of times the cut will affect the scoring of a fight for certain judges. I mean, you see if it's a relatively close round, but one guy's coming out of there and he's just leaking, then sometimes you will see certain judges give it to the other fighter because that will be a bigger statement of winning the round.
It really is do or die for fighters here. Matisse Zaharovs prowling like some sort of a caged animal.
Pacing back and forward, where Tipsayev definitely looks more tired.
He does, hands in the back of the head. You can hear Philip Malpeter, I want the finish, Matisse.
Oh, wow.
I'm pretty sure Matisse wants the finish too.
Tipsayev's face just trickling with blood.
Oh! Big overhand from Tipsayev.
That's the thing, you can't get reckless with a guy like Tipsayev because, I mean, he's got so much power and he knows how to take a shot.
As you say, wrestlers that transition to MMA, they have that raw power. Slip, I think, there more so, but big knee stepped in. Knee.
But Tipsayev shakes it off, though, saying no.
But we know what that shake of the head often means in mixed martial arts.
No often means yes. And there's definitely something to be said of the validity of Zaharovs' corner. I mean, I do think Tipsayev has slowed down. No,
high kick! He him a little bit. He's unloading the punches. Could we see a finish here? Matisse Zaharovs unloading, forces the shot. Zaharovs back up to his feet. Big shots being landed here by Matisse Zaharovs. This is something a lot of people did not think they would see. Matisse Zaharovs being dominant in the grappling exchanges. I think he'd be happy to let him up. Is he perhaps trying to slip a Darce? Transitions into the parterre position.
I think it might be a good idea to let Tipsayev up, though. I mean, this is giving him a chance to rest.
Boris turns in towards Matisse there.
It might be a bit of a statement thing, though. Zaharovs might want to finish this on the ground from this position, just to show, like, this top-notch wrestler. He's not gonna win in this area. I am.
Oh, these are big shots being landed by Matisse Zaharovs. Could be a case of frequency, but I think Matisse will be as happy to let him stand. Needs to be wary of the roll into the knee bar, the leg lock, but Matisse Zaharovs so smart, transitions into side control. His corner calling frantically for that left elbow.
They're pleading to the referee again.
Ladies and gentlemen, do we have a noise control button for Philip Malpeter? Can we turn him down at least to 6? Matisse doing a great job here.
Tipsayev's corner just pleading for him to do. Oh, that is it!
Ladies and gentlemen, Matisse Zaharovs with perhaps the biggest win of his mixed martial arts career.
Absolutely, this was a statement win. Fantastic performance from Matisse Zaharov.
On paper, I'm sure not many people were calling Matisse Zaharovs the favorite, but what a swing. He did exactly what he said he was going to do. He said he was going to drain the reserves of Bilal. Absolutely beautiful performance from the young Latvian Irishman.
Fantastically done. I'm pretty sure that Matisse Zaharov is on many fighters' radars after a performance like this. 2-0 in Brave, both via TKO. That is impressive stats to bring with you from the cage.
Running his professional record to 4-0 with 4 finishes. Matisse Zaharovs, take a bow, sir. There we see it was it wasn't necessarily the concussive nature of the shots, it was the accumulative damage that he was gaining with the shots.
And that is something that you see like the Diaz brothers, for example, be really successful with. I mean, you don't necessarily hit them with fight-ending punches every single time. You can still break them down slowly but surely. And if we look at the results now, Tipsayev still on the canvas.
That is a great comparison to just that Diaz style of landing the shots. And I think one thing we didn't pay attention to was when Boris was trying to get up, he used a little inside foot slide to break the base of him. So smart from a 22-year-old mixed martial artist. But that's enough from us right now. And what we're going to do is send it up to our MC for the night, Mr. Lance Murdoch, for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, in our first contest of the evening, our referee stopped the action after 2 minutes and 16 seconds of the third and final round. And the winner, by way of TKO, Matisse Zaharovs! Ladies and gentlemen, Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of mixed martial arts in this featherweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Cluj-Napoca, Romania, weighing in at 66.1 kilograms, with a professional record of 23 fights, 16 wins and 7 losses. Cyprian, the Transylvanian warrior, Marish! Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner, fighting out of Vienna, Austria, weighing in at 66.2 kilograms, with an undefeated record of 8 fights and 8 wins, Mohammed the Beast Makayev! Let's get down to business.
Third man in the cage is Catalin Odleția. Quick tail the tape. Cyprian, the elder statesman, by 9 years. Both men same height, and everything else is virtually identical.
There we have it.
Good. Time.
Both men look primed and ready to go. A little bit of needle, it must be said, in the weigh-ins. Both these men went head to head. I had to casually try and pry them apart when knowing both of them could put a beating on me. That was loads of fun.
That is not a good position to be in when you're stuck between two fighters like this. Nice high kick there to start off. Blocked, but you know, it's a good way of setting the pace, showing, hey, I'm not just a wrestler or anything like that.
I like the way that Makayev has taken the center of the cage and he's forcing the lateral movement out of... Oh, but that was a lovely short left by Cyprian Marish.
And we mentioned that Marish, I mean, he's coming in on an 8-fight win streak, but what could be worth mentioning is that he began his MMA career losing actually 3 out of his first 5, but he managed to turn that around. I mean, you see some fighters who don't do well in their first couple of fights as a pro, and they kind of give up, they kind of accept, or, you know, they just go the journeyman route. But, I mean, Marish totally has not. He really turned it around. He really became a better fighter. And there is a lot to be said about someone who can do that, somebody who can, you know, take those losses and really make something positive out of it.
Yeah, it shows a willingness to throw ego out the window and let yourself become a real student of MMA. You can see good movement so far. Again, very much like the last fight, he doesn't want to be a static target, because anytime Kaszewski's going to get hit with shots like that by Makayev, beautiful straight over the top.
That straight left as well from Makayev before also landed very nicely. Definitely got Matisse's attention there.
Oh, and a rear uppercut.
Oh, and he's cut.
Oh, and he gets hit with a head.
Another kick there. Caught well.
More shin on head, but yes, as you're saying there, Cyprian has been opened up just under the right eye.
And again, that jab landing very nice from Makayev. Whoa!
Spinning back fist attempt, why not? You can see Mohammed Makayev keeping that rear hand pinned up high just in case. But that jab is working beautifully for him. Just really disrupting the rhythm, cadence and flow of Cyprian Marish.
Absolutely, it's just so precise and lightning fast as well.
Oh, big shot with the rear hand.
I think we're going to start to see Makayev open up a little bit more. He's landed that jab now a couple of times, and I will not be surprised to see him add either a straight left or perhaps a hook afterwards.
Cyprian Marish trying to implement a little bit of head movement. Oh, another short uppercut from Makayev.
He's really starting to find his rhythm here now with his striking.
Oh, he gets caught.
Right hand there from Marish landed really hard.
Both these men are exchanging heavy shots. Marish showing that he's still dangerous in there.
Well, obviously, he's proved he can come back from adversity, so this is a testament to that if he should be able to turn this around. Right now, he's a little bit on his back pedal. He's kind of getting hit a little more than he should.
That jab, just see, that's laser like focus with that jab. He finds a home for it every time he's pumping it out there, Seb.
It's like a torpedo. I mean, it just hits its mark. It's perfect.
Indeed, Seb, indeed. Cyprian Marish trying to circle off, trying to work his angles. But as you say, that jab stops him in his tracks every time. Any kind of forward momentum he's getting, he's stunned with that focused laser-like jab. I
mean, it's a very light kryptonite right now, because it really is disrupting everything that Marish is trying to do. His whole striking flow and even his movement as such. I mean, I really do think that we will start seeing much more of Makayev striking after this, because he is landing that almost at will now. So it's time to start following it up with a couple more strikes.
I think he knows how confident he is with his wrestling, and being such a good wrestler, that then gives him time and credence to work on his striking, because he knows that should an opponent try and take him down, he has the tools to keep the fight standing.
Absolutely.
Again, just popping that jab out. That's the red blood, the crimson mask being worn now is acting as a target for that jab of Mohamed Makayev.
And you can tell that Marish, he's just not really getting comfortable on his feet. He's a little herky-jerky with his movement, and it obviously will happen when you're constantly being picked apart by that straight jab.
Very, very clean work.
Oh.
Ciprian Marish with the takedown. I don't think many people have seen this, but being well defended so far by Makayev.
I think that may be more of a desperation tactic than anything else. I mean, also, it is good to surprise your opponent, keep them thinking, but the takedown came from a little bit further out than it probably should have, and I think it was more of a result of Marish just not liking the strikes he is absorbing here on the feet.
And that goes back
that was a nice front kick there.
Crisp. Again, it goes back to what we were saying about being so confident with your wrestling that you can let the hands go a little bit, but then again, a beautiful takedown attempt and defended very well. Ciprian just working off the corner using that.
And that's at least a small moral victory, defending the takedown against such an accomplished wrestler as Makayev.
You can see just the cumulative effort of those strikes by Makayev being worn on the face of Ciprian Marish. But again, it all comes down to just how clean and precise that jab was.
Absolutely. That was a little bit more of a wild exchange there.
Ciprian trying to attack the legs, but as soon as Makayev found his range and found it very, very early, from that point on, it was...
Makayev got out of that position so nicely as well. I mean, even when the kick was caught, he was actually landing all the successful strikes as he was getting out. There's that uppercut again.
Our second round. Makayev very light on the feet, ready to go. No touch of the gloves there from Makayev. Laser focus, as we say.
Yeah. He's got one thing on his mind and one thing only, and that is victory.
He needs to change things up a little bit. He needs to start trying to land cleaner shots. Maybe try and work off simple things like 1-2s rather than trying to find that knockout punch.
Exactly. A lot of his attacks we have been kind of looping hooks. I would like to see some of the basics, or at least some more feints at the very least. Just something to sort of disrupt a little bit of Makayev's rhythm.
Again, short uppercut, then over the top. Again, we said at the top of the broadcast just what it's like to see all these young fighters. Each time you see them, they develop at such a crazy rate. Exponential improvements every time you see a young product.
Yeah, it's like you're just getting a new version of the same top-notch fighter every time.
Ciprian trying to mix things up with kicks.
He did land a solid kick to the body before while we were talking. I feel like his kicks, you know, when they have landed, they've been pretty solid. But he's coming up last in those exchanges, and he can't have that happen.
Makayev looks so calm in there. To steal a phrase from one of the best in the business, Noel Keith, he looks like he's just walking down to the shops to buy a pint of milk. Oh, I love the way as soon as Ciprian throws one of those looping shots, Makayev is trying to reply with either that speedy jab or that straight down the middle.
That's why I kind of feel like Marish needs to fake a little bit more, feint a little bit, so that he can sort of bait some of these counters and counter with a strike of his own. Oh, those are hard hooks there from
up on the hooks, then lands a leg kick. Throw it wild as Makayev, but he may got caught. He got caught with a little shot there. Needs to be careful in those positions. Ciprian is still dangerous. The most dangerous animal is a wounded animal.
Exactly. You can never count anyone off in the sport of MMA.
You have to give credit to the heart of Ciprian here.
Absolutely. I mean, if there's anything we've learned from his career, is that he is a true Transylvanian warrior, as his name lives up to.
He's the kind of guy you can really count on in a fight like this. Ciprian's trying to work off the jab a little bit.
Oh, hard shots there again.
Oh, partially blocked there off the forearms, but then again, that can cause damage to the forearms.
Absolutely, and not only that, even blocked, a hard kick will knock you. I mean, look at Lyoto Machida, Mark Munoz.
Oh, flying knee! Beautiful.
What an arsenal here from Mohamed Makayev.
Showing some serious diversity in his striking game. just tying everything together. And again, Cyprian Marish just wears it. Happy to stand in the pocket, unfazed by that stiff jab, trying to march forward, but there's only so many of those you can take.
Oh, I don't think any Transylvanians are fazed by any amount of blood, but I mean, the punishment will add up for sure.
Cyprian backing up just a little bit, and again, that
Makayev just
jab,
walking him down.
big uppercut again, just sliced through the guard like a stake to the heart. Cyprian Marish must be wondering what he has to do to change the tide here.
Yeah, because nothing really has been successful. He's had a couple successful singular shots.
Oh,
another
crushing
devastating
knee.
knee there, yeah.
As you say, he's been trying to go for takedowns, he's been trying to land strikes, he's been trying to implement different types of movement, but everything he does seems to be figured out by young Makayev. Serious MMA IQ.
Yeah, and he still looks just as calm. Any blood that's on him is from his opponent, and just very well defended takedown there. It was nothing really for Makayev to defend that.
He almost disdainfully skipped out of it.
Yeah. Oh, a hard right hand there from Makayev.
Oh, just shy with a head kick, but Cyprian replies over the top with a glancing blow.
And that's what he needs. I mean, he needs to counter successfully right now. Like he's leading with those hooks, and I feel like it's just leaving him a little bit too open.
I think when he throws, he has a tendency when he throws those hooks to dip his head ever so slightly, and Makayev has seen that, and that's why the uppercut has been such a useful tool for him.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's just too little too late in his exchanges here from Marish. He's just not really getting off the proper power or volume.
another big shot from Makayev. You can say, and the uppercut works to the body. 20 seconds to go. I love that he's not rushing in. I love that he's not. He had that one little scare when he rushed in, but right now he's landing his strikes, and again with the uppercut.
I mean, that right hand of Makayev. And another flying knee from Makayev.
The all-round striking of Mohamed the Beast Makayev is something to truly marvel at. If his last fight was an illustration and a showcase of his wrestling, this particular fight truly is a showcase of his striking.
He can do it all. He can do it all. I mean, just ragdolling opponents in his past performance and just picking apart Cyprian Marish here on the feet in this fight. I mean, there is a good reason that this is one of the hottest prospects coming out of Austria at the moment right now.
Oh, and the referee has called
stopping the fight.
Are they stopping it on the cut?
It could easily be a corner stoppage as well too, though. I mean, I'm assuming it's the cut.
The referee just motioned to us. He put the hands up. He said the fight is over. He's stopping it on the cut. Cyprian Marish is not disputing it. Therefore, I think he's not happy with the stoppage, but usually you would see a fighter protest if they vehemently disagreed. No protestation from the corner of Cyprian Marish either.
And that is understandable. I mean, there was a lot of one-way punishment being dealt out there, and really, if your game has just been that figured out, then is there a point in continuing to absorb that damage?
Well, it's about the safety of the fighter when it comes down to it. You know, you don't want to see a fighter go in there and absorb any more unnecessary damage than they need to absorb, but that cut underneath the eye seems to be the reason why the fight was stopped by our referee, Katalin Odlecia.
And I mean, credit to Marish, he's a veteran. He had some moments, but yeah, he was just constantly the step after Makayev, who was just a step ahead of him pretty much the whole time in the striking.
Fighter to the center.
I don't think Makayev quite knows that the fight's over. I don't think he realizes the fight's been called. He looked like he was ready to go there.
Yeah.
But let's send it up for the official decision to our MC, Mr. Lance Murdoch.
Ladies and gentlemen, our doctor stopped the action at the end of the second round. The blue corner was unable to continue, so the winner in the red corner, Mohamed Makayev!
There you have it, corner stoppage. Cyprian Marish's corner, just seeing too much, just kind of realizing that Marish was just a step after pretty much the whole fight. And yeah, why have him continue to take punishment when his game has been figured out by his opponent?
Mohamed Makayev wanted to jump on the mic straight away there, but there we see just the A+ boxing of the young man.
Great. And there was that exchange where sure his leg got caught, but he got out of it so unscathed.
Ciprian trying to mix things up by throwing diverse strikes, but just the boxing, the jab, the uppercut, the way he was able to string his punches together, absolutely beautiful from Mohamed Makayev.
And I'm really curious as to what he wanted to get out there on the mic.
There's only one way to find out, and I'm going to grab a chat with him once he gets into our interview prep point. Short uppercuts, long uppercuts.
Just in general, Makayev's right hand, I feel, was just devastating.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of professional mixed martial arts in this catchweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Belfast, Northern Ireland by way of Poland, weighing in at 72 kilograms, with a professional record of 10 fights, 6 wins and 4 losses. Magic, the Magic Man, Kaszewski! Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner, fighting out of Bristita, Romania, weighing in at 71.7 kilograms, making his pro debut, Bogean Mihai Sordu! Let's get down to business.
Fighters to the center.
There we see the tail of the tape, Seb. Bogean the younger, the shorter. Weight's practically identical. Experience definitely goes to Maciek in the cage, but the purely stand-up realm, the experience has to swing in Bojan's favor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just the amount of fights that he's had in the ring, it is truly impressive, and it is something that I think will be a pretty deciding factor here in this fight. Because should Maciej want to, he should have a grappling advantage. Should he want to mix it up? Should he perhaps get hit with something that clouds him a little bit? He could probably, oh, good.
Big shots being landed there by Maciej. Bojan throwing back. Maciej just trying to walk his opponent down, trying to find an angle. Comes over, big strikes. Maciej winging these punches in. Oh, Maciej just throwing leather at absolute will.
This is just phone booth, just brawling here.
Huge knees. And Maciej in on the takedown.
I called it. I called it. Now, it was admittedly not at all out of desperation or anything like that, or because he was hit by something, but he's just got a huge advantage in that realm.
Very smart from Maciej. Now looks to post up and land some hands. Maciej does, it's not necessarily seen, but Maciej does have some fantastic wrestling. Trains with guys like Adam Gustab, like Marek Giacomowicz, all very, very competent wrestlers. Big ground and pound being landed. That's it over! Maciej Kaszewski pulls a rabbit out of the hat with a spellbinding performance.
That was truly one-sided. That was an impressive showing from Kaszewski.
Landed insurmountable ground and pound. Once he saw the opening, he landed at will. Great to see his opponent back to his feet, but now you see him, now you don't. Maciej, the Magic Man Kaszewski, gets the win.
It's like he just made his opponent disappear.
There we see the replay established. That anchor position that we spoke about earlier, not necessarily the full mount, but he was able to sit down on his weight. Just landed heavy, heavy hands.
Great show of sportsmanship here in the cage afterwards as well.
Maciej just came inside now, loving life, big smile on his face. That's because he knows he gets to chat to me later.
Do you believe in magic? Yes, we do.
And now for the official decision, once again, Lance Murdoch.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ladies and gentlemen, our referee stopped the action after only 1 minute and 8 seconds of the very first round. And the winner, by way of TKO, Magic Man Kaszewski!
Long way to sort of kick off here, and I mean, I for one am excited to see him in the cages again as soon as possible.
As we say, was scheduled to fight Zaharovs.
I would not be mad about matchup being remade again. I mean, Siraj, he's a very exciting prospect from Sweden, undefeated, 4-0, so that would definitely be a matchup I'd be interested in seeing again.
See, once he established that position, I think he wanted to show that, yes, he was well-rounded, yes, he could do it.
Because let's face it, I mean, he was winning in the striking department as well. I mean, there was no question as to who was ahead in that respect. And then he just decided to show, you know what, I can win the fight here on the ground as well.
And just momentarily, I'll be grabbing a quick word with our Victor Kaszewski.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our co-main event. Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of professional mixed martial arts in this welterweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Cluj-Napoca, Romania, weighing in at 79.5 kilograms. He has an undefeated record of 10 fights and 10 wins. Sordu! Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner, fighting out of Geneva, Switzerland, weighing in at 79.8 kilograms. With a record of 11 fights, 8 wins and 3 losses, Kevin Ruart! Let's get down to business.
Almost polar opposite warm-up styles there. You got Sordu, who looks like, I mean, he's about to go on a roller coaster, and Ruart, who just death stare and refusing to touch gloves ahead of a fight.
You see from the tail of the tape there, Ruart a little bit older, Ion a little bit taller, but 2 proven finishers going in here. I don't want to put the commentators' curse on this, but can we expect a finish?
I mean, the odds are talking for it.
See, Ion starting fast, trying to get in there and grab some of that respect from the proven veteran. Former champion in Europe at middleweight, Kevin Ruart, and just looks huge. Both these guys are massive.
They truly are both big for the division. I gotta say, I think Ion Sordu is starting off very strongly here, just really taking it to the established European veteran here.
I like the movement of Ion Sordu. That's sort of coming from his Kimpo background, and it must be said he is a 2-time national Kimpo champion.
As many in this region seem to be. Strong Kimpo background here in Romania.
Fighting nice and long, beautiful head kick.
That high kick has landed a couple times now. It's been mostly with the foot, which won't have the same devastating power as it does with the shin, but I think we're getting close to a really fight-altering kick.
Defended the takedown beautifully to keep the fight where he feels he has the greatest advantage, and that is on the feet.
He's doing a great job right now at staying mobile, just staying just slightly out of rage for Ruart, who, I mean, I don't want to put any words in his mouth, but I mean, he has his sights set on the title. He's talked about he wants to finish Sordu, go on challenge welterweight champion Jar Al-Slawi. Let's just hope he hasn't looked past Sordu in any way.
Oh, nice straight, just shy of landing on the money. 7 first-round KOs for Ion Sordu, so that's comprising of 6 KOs and 1 submission. So the first round seems to be where he does his best business.
And that was a very telegraphed takedown there from Ruart that Sordu, of course, could see coming. And his kicks, I mean, wow. It's not just
a legal kick, that's grand.
But it's not just you know, the head kicks, it's the leg kicks as well, and it's also him catching his opponent's kicks. He's just really doing a great job there.
Beautiful kick there, just crashing into the calf. Mixes it up with the leg kicks, the front kicks, and the high kicks. Oh, short uppercut.
Sordu's looking good.
Again, that's the point you made about also catching the kicks. Ruart with the look of a man that wasn't expecting to be under this kind of pressure at this stage of the fight. Step in elbow. Oh, you can hear these punches
shots
crashing in. Lands the knee. Could this be the beginning of the end? Pressure being poured on right now by Ion Sordu.
Ion Sordu just taking this opportunity and rising to the challenge. Another great leg kick there, really getting Ruart off balance. And that striking combination that he had there against the cage, it's right in front of us, was vicious.
Kevin D. Ruart trying to rally and roll under a punch, but again, just the mixing up the hands and the kicks. Just a real sort of fluidity about what he's doing in there, Seb.
Absolutely, Phil. Lots of variety and just, yeah, as you said, fluidity. The way that he flows between his different types of strikes. I mean, also the way that he flows between strikes. I mean, catching Ruart's kicks as well. Great strike to the body there.
Oh, he got dropped! Kevin Ruart with the comeback!
That is it!
Unbelievable, Kevin Ruart! Wow, what a way to rally!
From the brink of defeat, Ruart looked like he was on thin ice, but wow, just that fight-ending power again.
That was devastating. Obviously, our thoughts are with Ion Sordu right now. He has the medics attending to him, and fighter safety is paramount here at Brave Combat Federation. He does seem to be, the eyes are open, he is alert, but after landing such frequency of strikes, and again, that's that one-punch power that we're talking about. Lands the hook into the straight, hammer fist to finish. Referee gets in as quick as he can. Devastating finishing.
And it sort of might have just been getting a little too eager with his striking, just feeling like he was finding his mark too easily. And, you know, like we've said time and time again, you can never underestimate anyone.
It's such a shift, and this is why I love this sport. This is why I love Brave Combat Federation. This is what you're seeing. The best in the region, the best in the world, laying it down. Beautiful finish. Kevin Ruart now records the 6th first-round finish of his career, the 8th win coming by way of finish. Beautiful performance.
And I'd say he's made a strong case for a shot at the title after a performance like that. I mean, really, it's a very telling performance. The fact that he was able to keep his composure despite absorbing so much damage that he was, because it really seemed like Sordu was just a step ahead in every single aspect. But yeah, you just cannot count somebody out with that kind of power.
And it must be said, our welterweight division is absolutely stacked. Next week, for example, not even next week, on Saturday, we have Carl Booth taking on Abduragimov. Again, two guys that are absolute behemoths. One, a former welterweight champion himself. Ion Sordu is back on his feet. Great to see. You can see the frustration of losing the fight. Picking up the first loss in his mixed martial arts career, and only 25. He can grow from this.
Oh, absolutely. This is hardly a career-ending loss. I mean, if anything, I can see him coming back a lot stronger because he truly showed so much potential in this fight.
Lance, let's make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, in our co-main event, there is no need to check the judges' scorecards in an absolutely savage finish. Our referee stopped the action after 3 minutes and 14 seconds of the very first round. And the winner, by way of KO, Kevin Ruart!
The welterweight division here at Brave Combat Federation is on fire. I just feel like you could make a card just filled with welterweights and it would just be non-stop entertainment. Here we've got some of the action from that very entertaining one round of fighting, and there it was, the counter just on the money.
It was that hook to strike. The hook wobbled him, but the straight separated him from his conscience. It was just the precision of it. It was such a shift in what was going on. Ion Sordu was landing strikes at will, it seemed to be. He was pressuring Kevin Ruart, but it was all about the timing.
Yeah.
There we see it. Hook to modified right overhand straight, and then concussive hammer fists.
You truly need just one. And I am very interested to see if he does, in fact, decide to stake his claim at Jara Al-Salawi's welterweight title. I mean, there's not a lot of guys in this division here at Brave who possess the kind of power that he has. Let's hear what he has to say.
In our main event of the evening, Brave Combat Federation presents 3 5-minute rounds of professional mixed martial arts in this catchweight bout. Introducing first, in the blue corner, fighting out of Bucharest, Romania, weighing in at 103.5 kilograms, making his pro debut, Christian Constantinov! Across the cage, his opponent stands in the red corner, fighting out of Toronto, Canada, by way of Trinidad and Tobago, weighing in at 101.9 kilograms, with a professional record of 16 fights, 10 wins and 6 losses, Todd the Black Hulk Stout! Our referee in charge of the action is Mr. Deck Larkin.
Please. All right, guys, you've been over the rules. You listen to my instructions all the time. If I tell you stop, you stop and break clean. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. Go back to your corners and come out fighting.
Let's get down to business.
There we have it. A main event needs a main event referee, and there you have Decky the Bandit Larkin taking charge of the big guys.
No touch of gloves there between these two big guys.
Look at the intensity, and Todd Stout charging forward right away.
Wasting no time there engaging.
Big strikes being landed here. Todd covering up, rolling in on the takedown. Needs to be wary of the guillotine here. Big double from Todd, landing in the half guard of Constantinov. And this is where the relative MMA experience of Constantinov might show. He's trying to dig in for that guillotine. Big man with a big squeeze, might it be? Still holding on to that neck. Should Todd Stout pass the side control? Needs to be wary that the Von Flute choke's there for him. And
I think he's cut. Yeah, it looks like he's cut. You can see on the side of Konstantinov's body some blood, but it definitely isn't his.
Looked like he momentarily was trying to work for that Americana, trying to pass the guard.
And I wonder if perhaps that cut inspired the takedown a little bit, because, you know, he came into this fight wanting to strike a lot, but then, you know, he might have gotten cut being a little bit unsure about where it's at. So you can't really inspect yourself during a fight.
Todd working the body, heavy punches.
See the result there on the side of Konstantinov as well.
And then pops that elbow through everything. The Black Hulk is throwing right now is with bad intentions. Trying to separate off the face.
And being the number 3 ranked light heavyweight in Canada, he does have an impressive resume. I mean, he's got a win over Matt Van Buren. He derailed the hype train of Starnja Garilovic, and he handed Anton Tarkarchuk his first loss. So, I mean, he's got some good wins, and now he's made it all the way to full mount.
Transition just methodically worked for it. Listening to his corner, paying attention to them. They separate and strike here. Konstantinov pretty much just holding on, trying to land some offense from the back. But when you have somebody like the Black Hulk on top of you, very difficult to get moving. Need to be wary of giving up the head-on triangle.
And just bad intentions behind every single strike from Todd Stout.
He's crashing those elbows through. Oh, he tapped the strikes! Oh, Konstantin.
That is it!
Christian Constantinov taps the strikes.
I'm coming for that light heavyweight belt. I'm coming for that shit. Everyone's getting smashed!
Hulk smash indeed.
Wow.
Forcing his opponent to tap due to strikes. It was just the relentless nature of those strikes, Seb. The build-up of them, the accumulation.
Well, I mean, he set a pace from start to finish that just did not relent. It was like a hardcore thriller movie. He just kept coming forward like Jason Voorhees, just through his own cut and everything, and just continually advancing in the grappling department, constantly beating up his opponent as well. Nice show of respect here afterwards.
See you soon.
You can see the two fighters showing respect to one another, and I think that strike that Konstantinov landed that cut the Black Hulk kind of earned that little bit of respect from him.
Absolutely, because, I mean, he did not back down from that striking exchange. He was throwing what he had at Todd Stout, and that's definitely something that earns the respect of somebody like the Black Hulk.
And there you see that tap, just didn't want to be in that position.
Possible to satisfy right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, in our main event of the evening at Brave CF36, our referee, Mr. Deck Larkin, stopped the action after 2 minutes and 12 seconds of the very first round. And the winner, by way of TKO, the Black Hulk, Todd Stout!